Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peaks Peak. Today, we are dropping a couple of pine trees that are going to fall anyway. And we plan on using these for siding for the mill shed. This is a mess because we've got two leaners and then a couple of dead trees in the mix as well. This is not an easy puzzle to solve. For starters, we got our main leaner on the big tree that's got to come down, but they're all hung up in the top up there, just a little bit. Now, I think I can get it loose and I think I can get this done safely, but this is a mess. What we're going to do is we're going to take...
There's so many ticks.
Well, there are a lot of ticks. We'll look for ticks when we get done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out around that first front leaner there, and I'm going to cut a wedge out of the front of it, and then I'm going to plunge cut and leave a trigger. That way I can control when it cuts loose and I can make that final cut and get out of there and let happen what's going to happen here and see what's going to fall and all that. And then if this other one stays up, then we'll cut it the rest of the way down. That's the plan. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, but I'm gonna get Caden way back. Caden, as long as you stand back in that corner back over there, you'll be just fine. But I want you to stay over there and don't come up this way. So guys, I spotted these two leaners a couple of weeks ago, and I've been looking them over, driving past, walking around them, checking out the situation just to make sure I could understand exactly what's going to happen as I cut these down. Now, I'm not saying I'm ready to anticipate everything that could happen, but I've spent some time trying to figure this out, and I'm pretty confident that what I'm doing here is safe and I've got a good plan of escape ready. I just put on a brand new Dukes full chisel chain. I got a 3-pack off of Amazon for like 45 bucks. I thought it was a great deal. So this is my first time using it. I also got a 3-pack of Skip 2 chains that I have not tried yet. But, all right, let's get into this and see what we can do. I could feel at the end of that cut that the tree was starting to lean on my bar a little bit, so I hurried up and pulled it out. Now right here is where I should have stopped cutting from the center and moved to the back to start cutting the trigger. Now this being my first time making a bore cut and a trigger, I cut too far back and wasn't leaving enough trigger, and I heard the tree crack. You can hear it in this next angle. Now I'm standing back looking at it, trying to decide if it's going to go ahead and go or if I need to go back in there and hit it just a little more. Now you can give me your opinions here, but I was afraid to put my saw on the outside of this trigger when I knew I had already cut too deep. I think ultimately I could have just been patient and stood back and it would have went ahead and popped on its own. That was super exciting and extremely terrifying because I wanted to completely control when that tree went so that I knew I could get out of the way, because we have another heavy leaner here. And with this heavy leaner, I knew I needed a couple feet head start to escape if it wanted to come on down too. And I just wasn't sure.
You'd probably been crushed a little bit.
No, I got out quick. I got out real quick. The whole hinge situation there and cutting the trigger, plunge cutting and all that, I do think that gave me more control on that big leaner like that. But I chickened out and bailed on it the first little pop I heard, and just got out of there because I thought it was going to go ahead and snap that trigger point. And I went back in after it sat still for a minute to go ahead and get the trigger there at the end, and I actually didn't even get to it before it popped and the tree went down. So yeah, as soon as it popped, I'm out of there. And so everything went good. But yeah,
I have like
it's a little scary. Now, yeah, we're gonna have to pick out ticks when we get done. But in order to take this next leaner down, I've got to clear me a path so that I can get out of there and so that I can cut that safely. So I am not, and you are not to go anywhere near underneath any of that, okay? Because it may go ahead and come down. I'm gonna clean out this area right here, and then we'll go ahead and take that tree the rest of the way down.
Yeah, I am not going anywhere under that.
No, do not. So now I'm just clearing out all this brush that stands between the tree and the open trail. That way, when I get close to that tree that's got to come down, I'll have a quick plan of escape, because I can't run 45 degrees behind the tree because there's not enough space. Now, on these, I mean, there's no question which direction it's going to go, but it's how fast it's going to snap, and I don't want to get caught up in any limbs or anything like that. So had to have me an escape route. And normally you want to run 45 degrees behind the direction it's going to fall, but we don't have that option here. There's not a way to clear the escape that way. So it's coming down now. Look, don't even have to cut it. There it went. I wanted you to see this sped up clip running backwards and forwards so you could see how much that tree was moving as I stood there and talked to you and explained what I was about to do. Well, sorry, Saul. I knew. In some ways, that's a relief because, well, now it's on the ground and I didn't have to be near it as it came down, so that's good. I was just talking about clearing my escape route because it's obvious this is where it's going to go. But it's a matter of making sure that you're not going to get tripped up on anything, or the butt of it's not going to kick up and over sideways and into you or anything like that. So I've been up here several times looking this over, and I was pretty confident that I could do what I needed to do there. But I knew that I was scared. Absolutely, I was scared. You got to respect it. There's no question. But I knew that I had a clear straight path to run away from cutting the first tree, and so if the second tree was going to come with it, I had time to get out of the way. So that was my plan initially, and I really kind of thought they would both come down at the same time anyway. So I was a little disappointed when the next one stayed up and I was going to have to deal with that too. But as I started to walk up, I saw the tree move, and I was like, it's coming. I saw, I don't know if a root broke loose or what, the ground's pretty wet right now. I was keeping a close eye on it, and sure enough, man, there it comes. So now we've got a big mess to clean up here and turn into logs. But the exciting part is we've got a big mess here with logs. And there's quite a few feet of logs here, man.
How are you even gonna carry this?
Well, I'll have to back the tractor in here and drag them out with a chain probably. Because I won't.
You can't do nothing back there.
Yeah, I'll be able to get them. I won't be able to pick them up with the grapple and carry them out of here because my trail's not wide enough. I'll do what I can, and if I can get any of them out of here that way, I will, but I don't think I'll be able to.
You can pick these up.
So, yeah, at this point, this is what I wanted to accomplish today. It's Sunday afternoon, it's been raining on and off. I'm gonna start working on these, cutting them into logs tomorrow night. So what I may do real quick is just kind of limb these out down through here and kind of get them opened up to where I'm ready to cut them into logs and drag them out of here tomorrow night. They're on the ground. That's the big win. This was a gnarly situation. I don't like messing with stuff like this, but we got it done. So I grabbed the MS362 and I started cutting all the limbs off and cutting up the firewood that was there handy. And it didn't take it very long to wear me out, so I switched over to the MS250 to finish limbing it out. Now that we've got it tuned up, it really is the perfect limb saw. It doesn't wear you out like the big saw. I had about an hour this afternoon where I could get a little bit of something done, and I decided to come out here and get these on the ground so I would have that relief that that's out of the way. And I will come starting tomorrow. I'll mark these out into logs, start cutting them up, getting them drug out of here, and we're gonna have a supply of lumber we can make some siding out of. Now, I don't know how much I'll get out of this, but I think I've got, I'd say 7 decent logs here. This one I'm sitting on is probably 20 inches down to 10 inches or so. And it's, I'd say probably 40 foot long on this one and 30 foot long on the other one. We'll get a fair amount of wood out of it. I cut my trigger off of the butt of this log so I could show you how this happened and at about what width it broke. Because you can see, you know, I was cutting until it was about an inch left, and that's when it popped, but it ripped this off of the side of the stump and took it with the tree as it fell. Now, that takes a massive amount of force, but you had, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 pounds worth of pine tree leaning that direction, so it was, yeah, bound to happen. I'll show you a close-up of the hinge, but I left about 2 inches of hinge on this tree, and you know, for a 20-inch diameter log, that's about what you're supposed to leave. So I think my hinge was about right, but the hinge popped before I expected it to. And I guess it's because it was leaning so hard. But that being said, the whole key to this whole setup was having a nice, clear plan of escape. And this, like, pointing back behind the camera, you guys are sitting on my main trail right here. So I had a straight shot to run straight out into the trail. And the top of this tree was on the far side of a really big tree over here, so there's no way that it could go that direction. It had to fall exactly where it fell. So I knew I was safe as soon as it started to fall, I got out of the way before this one started to come down with it. And I had about 3 minutes to spare. Well, guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed today's video, watching me get out and learn some more about dropping trees. Appreciate God for keeping me safe. Appreciate you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to get outside and enjoy God's creation. It's beautiful out here. Y'all have a good day.